Well, thanks for clicking on the video and welcome back to the woods. It's been an age since I've been out camping, so really looking forward to this one tonight. But it's an absolute wild day, wild October day up in the Highlands. So really strong winds and heavy rain sort of forecast, but the weather forecast is meant to be improving as the sort of night goes on. So hopefully in for a good night. Due to the rain though, I'm just going to get cracking, get the tent set up as quick as possible so I can get my gear in there and sort of keep it as dry as I possibly can. And I need to try and get this done before the next rain shower comes in. Because as I said, when it does rain, it's been so heavy. Even just sort of shooting this little bit just now, I've had to sort of probably about 10 times stop just to try and keep the camera equipment dry. So it's a bit wild. But it's back to that, if I only ever played on sunny days in Scotland, I wouldn't get much time to play. Okay, so I'll hook up with yous once I'm a wee bit further on. That's always the hardest, but I always tend to find just getting it all sort of tension properly. So I'm going to spend a few minutes just sort of doing that just now. And then we'll get the inner put in as well. But that's it, I'm pretty confident that's the first time I've ever used the inner, so it's going to be good just to sort of give it a wee test out. So I've got a few things I'm going to be trying out today for the first time. One of them, my partner just bought me the OneTigris chair, camping chair, just to sort of go with the rest of the equipment. So I'm going to give that a try out today. As well as I've got a new light, and also, not that I'm going to need it today, it's just too windy. But I've bought one of the flex tails just to try and help with the midges. The midges have just been absolutely horrendous this summer. One of the reasons why I've not maybe been out quite as much as I'd like. But as I said, hopefully this flex tail is meant to be really good for it. But as I said, the light that I've got as well, really excited to show you it. Just sort of, I'll wait until later on just so I can actually show it in its full setup. There we go. Sorted. Right, just while there's a bit of sunshine out, I'm just going to get the rest of the stuff in this shelter. Well, that's the shelter setup, chair setup and table setup. So now it's time for a little bit of chill. Now, unfortunately, I have come out here quite late in comparison to what the original plan was. So I am going to have to get wood prep going pretty quickly, just so I can get a wee fire going. I've got ribs for dinner tonight, so I'm really looking forward to it. It'll be really, really nice. But I do need to get the wood prep done and sort of get myself all sort of set up. I'm going to go through my sleep system later, just so you can actually see exactly what I use for trips like this. But as I said, first time using the inner mesh for the Iron Wall tent. Well impressed, really, really nice. I think it's going to make a big difference tonight. As I said, I've got that flex tail thing. So the flex tail is basically just sort of meant to help regarding sort of midges, mosquitoes, etc. So as I said, I'm going to be using that later on. I'm starting to see a few midges just sort of floating about. So we'll see how we go. But believe it or not, it's actually just started hailstones. So I'm going to hunker down in here just for a few minutes and then I'm going to start with the wood prep. Well, I'm starting to think I made a mistake. So I decided I wasn't going to do a hot tent. I was, it's not cold enough yet, but it is absolutely freezing. It really is. I've just had a massive big hailstone shower just now. So as I said, it is cold. So it's going to be quite a cold one tonight. Now, basically what I'm going to be having to try and do is just make sure I don't get too wet, just with the heavy rain showers. But what I want to do this time, I'm just going to take you over to the actual shelter, give you a little guided tour, and then it really is going to be a case of getting some wood prep done for the fire, because that could be a real challenge tonight. But I've got ribs, so if I don't have ribs, I could conceivably go back to the van for something to eat, but I would like to try and get some ribs done tonight. So I'll take you over just now and I'll show you the shelter. That's it, this is the OneTigris Iron Wall tent, and I use this for my hot tenting. So again, it's basically just got the flap just there, and then I said I've got the new OneTigris chair as well. So really nice setup. But I'll take you inside because this is a bit that I've never done before. So I said what I've done is I've actually got the inner just in there, just for sleeping, and then I've got all my sort of bags at one end, and then on the other end there I've got just the table, and that's, as I said, the new light that I'm going to be using tonight. We're going to be doing a gear review on that particular thing. Absolutely love it, and I'll go through that in a bit more detail later on. As I said, lovely setup, looking really good. So I'm going to take advantage of the small sort of dip in the weather just now, and get over there and get some wood prep done, just so I can get a fire going later on. So I'm going to be using the Uco fire pit. So it's quite a small fire, I'm not going to need too much, but I said it's going to be a case of sort of cooking up ribs, so absolutely starving as I was saying. So we'll head over just now and get the wood prep sorted. So that's the wood prep done, and the weather sort of really turned. It's still cold, but the wind has just completely died down. But there's no midges, which is good. So fingers crossed that sort of stays like this for the rest of the night. But as I said, rain sort of stopped as well. It was actually meant to stop raining at about 8 o'clock. It's only about 5:40 just now. So again, fingers crossed it sort of stays like this. But it's going to take a few minutes just to sort of chill out for a little bit, and then we'll get the fire on and get the ribs on. And who knows, it might even be time for the first beer. I'm going to go for the full pack. I'm meant to feed 2, but as I said, I haven't had lunch, so I'm absolutely starving. And typical, that's another shower just coming in just now. So I said I'm going to carry on cooking this, and then I'll hook up with you just in a wee bit once I've got it ready. Okay, so check that out. That looks so good. This is going to be messy. Wow. And first beer of the night. Slange. So I'm just going to finish off my ribs, and then I'll catch up with you. So I've just had to hunker down underneath, or in the tent I should say, just for the last wee while, because the rain has just been absolutely unbelievable. But as I said, it is about sort of 8 o'clock now, so I am hoping that that's the sort of rain finished, because that was pretty wild. But the great thing about this particular one, the shelter I've got, the OneTigris Iron Wall tent, is you can actually sit inside it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take it over just now. I'll let you have a quick wee look at it. There is another big shower meant to be coming in the next wee while, so I'm just sort of getting myself all organised. I'm hoping to be able to come out and do another wee sort of fire later on, but we'll just see what the weather's done. I've got all the actual wood inside the OneTigris tent anyway, just try and keep it dry. But I'm going to take you over just now just to sort of show you, because one of the things I'm testing just now. So Wild Discoveries have actually sent me one of their camping lamps just to actually try out. So you can look forward to a wee review on that. But I'm just going to turn it around just now, just to sort of let you have a quick wee look at it. But I'm absolutely blown away by it. Love it to bits just now. But just wait and see the way I've got this actually set up inside. So basically, I've got my chair just in there, so I can actually sit inside without any problem at all. And then I've got the actual lamp there, which I said I'll do a wee bit more to camera later on just when I'm getting the tent itself sort of set up with my sleep system. But I said, what a difference it's actually made in there. You can change the sort of ambience of it, so it's bright white, or alternatively sort of a bit more faded, but really impressed so far. So as I said, just going for a wee wander, just to sort of see. I've not really seen anything to do with wildlife or anything, any wildlife markings or anything. But last few times I've been here, I do know that there's quite a lot of foxes, badgers, and also quite a lot of deer, etc. as well. So just having a wee wander around just before this sort of next shower comes in. So if I do see anything, I'll catch up with you. If not, I'll catch you in the tent later on. Don't know if you can hear that, but still tipping it down with rain. But no, thoroughly enjoyable night actually. Just sort of chilled out a little bit. Got a wee fire going just for a small amount of time before the rain started again. But I said I'm going to hunker down a wee bit just to sort of get myself into my sleeping bag. But I am going to go through the sort of sleep system and what I'm actually using for tonight. But again, as I was sort of saying, so with this particular shelter, I've got the chair inside it, so I'm actually sort of sitting up inside, so it's really nice. I was going to turn the camera around, and that lamp that I was talking about earlier on from Wild Discoveries, I've got that on just now, and again I'm going to be using that when I do the filming for sort of showing you the sleep system. But as I say, just really impressed with it. Huge amount of light from it, and again you can adjust the angle on it, but I'll do a full review on it. But as I said, first impressions, really smart. And what I keep thinking about is from the point of view of the bivvy trips. So again, when I'm on the bivvy trips, it's two things. One, it's a power bank as well. So I'll be able to charge my phone, but just have that above me and behind me, which will be really handy. So I'm looking forward to sort of getting out and trying it a bit more. But as I said, I'm going to do a review on it, so you can expect that over the next few weeks. But first impressions are really positive. So I'm going to finish my beer, and then it's going to be a case of getting everything sort of sorted out for bed. But I said I'll show you all the system and etc. as I'm doing it. Okay, so basically I've got the German wool blanket down, which I find makes a massive big difference. It just takes a little bit of temperature off because I am just directly on the ground just now. And I've got the Rabbit Scent 700 sleeping bag, which I use all year round. You know, all the way even through winter and all that sort of things as well on the summit camps. But what I find really does make a massive difference to the likes of the sleeping bag itself is the Reactor sleeping bag liner. So I use the Sea to Summit Reactor sleeping bag liner, absolutely brilliant, and it makes a massive difference. Sleeping bag itself, by the time you've got the sleeping bag and also the sleeping bag liner, it takes it down to, I think it's about -14. You know, so again, I've never ever had an issue with it. Pillow wise, I'll use the Sea to Summit one again, and that just fits nice and snugly underneath the actual the hood of the sleeping bag itself. So again, that will sort of stay in position and keep me warm. So as I said, I'm just going to sort of take my shoes off, get into the sleeping bag itself. The Thermarest sleep mat that I actually use, it's the Neo Air. And again, that makes a massive difference. It sort of radiates heat up into the base of the sleeping bag as well. So no, I think I'm in for a good night. It is really cold. I said it could have easily been a hot tent session, this one. And again, I think when I come back out again, the next one I do is going to definitely be a hot tent. Because I said it is super chilly. But I said once I'm in a sleeping bag with a sleeping bag liner on, it's going to be nice and toasty. So I said I'm just going to get myself all organised. I'll hook up with you just before I head to sleep. Well, that's me just heading to sleep just now. Really, really cold, but absolutely toasty inside in the sleeping bag and sleeping bag liner. So nice and warm. And it's brilliant just hearing the sort of noise of the rain and also the wind in the trees. So I think I'm in for a good night's sleep. Okay, so barring any incident, I shall see you all in the morning. Well, good morning, and that was such a good sleep. That was really, really a good sleep. I always sleep so well out in the woodlands and when I'm out wild camping, but that was mental. I've got one of these Garmin watches and it gives your sleep a score. You end up getting a little bit fixated with it. But I said last night was an 85 out of 100, so really, really pleased. So I feel really refreshed, really, really refreshed. Cold this morning, really, really cold, but it stopped raining, but it did rain really heavily during the night, a couple of times that I did sort of wake up. But I'm just going to have a chilled, relaxed morning. Now, I've got a meeting today with the Forestry Commission, so I do need to sort of pack up reasonably soon and actually head over there. So it's over at the Compton camp. We're going to be discussing the actual camp itself, potentially making some amendments to it. Might have to remove the tarp, which will mean the shelter coming down, but we'll wait and see what happens. So as I said, I've got a meeting with them, so I can't hang around for too long. So I'm just going to put a coffee on just now, sit, slowly relax and just take all the woodland in and have some fun. Well, I used this all night last night and I actually left it on for most of the night. Absolutely blown away by it. So as I said, that was the first time actually trying it out. So thoroughly recommend it. I'll put a wee link to the product below in the video description. But as I said, it's from Wild Discoveries. So thank you very much, Chris, for sending it through. Very much appreciated. So basically, as I said, it's got 3 different settings. And again, you can have that telescopic. So my sort of concept with that is it's just going to be perfect for bivvy bag camping. So I can just have that between the 2 bivvy bags. So no, really impressed. Really impressed with it. And then you just sort of fold it down. And the other thing it does as well is it actually is a power bank. So again, I'll be doing a proper review of it sort of shortly. But it's turned out to be an absolute gorgeous morning. Really nice. So just very relaxing. But it's going to be a case of getting everything home and getting it all into the drying room because it is absolutely soaking. But as I said, just going to have my coffee just now and then I'll hook up with you. That's been such a good camp, really enjoyable. And I say really lucky, such a good morning, consider it was meant to be just sort of pouring my rain all morning. But I said, this particular woodland, I've done lots of camps here, and it was more just a case of, I've just moved house, hence the hardly any videos over the last wee while. And life's just sort of been a little bit chaotic, so I've just not had a chance to sort of get out, and I just really wanted to come to somewhere that I knew that was quick, not that far from the actual house, so I could get a really nice camp done. And as I said, this has just been absolutely perfect, really enjoyable, and it's just great getting back out into the woods. Not much in the way of animals last night. A couple of owls, all that sort of things as well, but and deer calling, but nothing sort of major. No sort of badgers. I did have a wander around just with the red light on, just trying to see if I could see anything, but I couldn't see anything at all. But no, just so relaxing. I just feel so invigorated just with actually spending time in the woods. It's just brilliant. And as I said, the shelter, I can't wait to do a hot tent, get some proper snow, and get back out in the forest. So as I said, just going to finish off my coffee, and then it'll just be a case of actually taking down camp. Okay, so I'm not going to make you watch me taking down the rest of it, but I just want to say a massive thank you for watching. I said that has just been so epic, not only just from the point of view of getting out into the woodland, but also from a mental health, etc. There's just nothing better. So thanks again for watching, take care, and we'll see you in the next adventure. Bye bye.